Alright, in this video I'm playing Châtillon, which is a tier 10 French light tank, and so far it's the only tier 10 light tank, which makes it kind of special. So I have to say that I enjoy this tank, though I had quite low expectations. And the reason is that this tank is pretty weak. First of all, the health pool is rather small because it's a light tank. The armor is also pretty much garbage. Everyone could penetrate you, and as soon as you are spotted, anyone makes you priority target just because almost every shell will penetrate you. Especially high explosive shells, they would do significant amount of damage to you. So people are happy to shoot at you. Another reason is that the maps in this game are rather small, and the duration of the game, it lasts like maximum 7 minutes, which means that you don't have much opportunity to shift around and catch long tanks. Blitz greatly favors well-armored tanks with good DPM, which could just go straight to the enemy, straight to the front line and start pushing and killing. On the other hand, Châtillon needs time and space to find opportunities, and that's something that just couldn't happen on average game. So it could be pretty tricky to play this tank. And the third thing is that this tank, it has no danger factor associated with it, because honestly it has a clip with 3 shots, and if you go against highly armored targets, there is good chance that one of them would bounce, which means that you would be doing like 600 damage to the enemy tank, and that's something that average tank destroyer at tier 10 could easily do with a single shot. So you are not a scary opponent. You are scary in the sense that you could go behind and harass tank destroyers, but otherwise you are not perceived as a dangerous tank just because you are not capable of doing vast amount of damage. On PC though, this tank has much larger clip. I believe it has something like 6 shells, so if you go one-on-one, you could pretty much kill your opponent. In Blitz, it's what they call balanced, so it has only 3 shells in the clip, and that's not that much. On the positive side, the speed is your great asset because you could really shift fast on the map. So if you see an opportunity, you could quickly get there. You can run away from tanks that chase you. So that makes it fun to play and very useful in certain situations. In the clip, there are still 3 shells, so when you get behind your opponent and you are able to shoot it through the weaker armor, you could actually do a lot of damage to your opponent. Like that VK, I just brushed in 2 shots and he's dead, and that's something which makes this tank great. You could easily finish the tanks, right? You could just go in, probably take 1 shot, but after that you just kill them. So that makes this tank useful. So how you play this tank? Generally at the start of the game, you always have to move and spot the opponents. That's something every light tank should be doing in the game, and this is a very important thing. Just go forward, find the enemy. The important thing though is that you should understand that you can't trade shots with the opponent. So as soon as you are spotted, dodge for cover, run away. So for example, right now I'm spotting rather aggressively, but I'm doing a mistake. Instead of running away, I'm trying to catch, to find that tank which wasn't spotted, but which knocked down the tree. So I'm looking who else is there, and I'll take a shot which was absolutely unnecessary. You see, I spotted that STB. I knew that it's somewhere there, but that was very unnecessary trade, and you just can't take many shots. And now I spot the opportunity. I see IS-7 on the other flank. I won't be able to shoot at it, but I think that he's pushing alone, so I'm trying to safely get to this tank. Because if that tank won't be alone, he probably would be pushing more aggressively, and he's holding our E4 in grill. So the opportunity that I see here is to quickly get behind him and start unloading my clip. My driving is not perfect, so I hit the wall, but that IS-7 it turns, and this means that our tank destroyers now could go and easily eliminate him. So I took one shell, but in return we completely killed this IS-7. And now I'm running for the other flank because my guess is that since there were 3 of us on this flank, the enemy tanks would rather push this side of the map. So I'm trying to support my tanks on this flank. That was a very lucky bounce. Yeah, but anyways, so the situation looks good, and I'm looking for more opportunities. I have to find other tanks. We are still kind of even. I see that there is a Jagdtiger, and the opportunity I see here is that I could use the building on my left as a cover. I could get to him, make him turn, which would allow my supporting tanks to shoot this Jagdtiger from behind. I also know that there is a rock on this side which would allow me to stay safe and hide behind it. This is a very important thing. In this tank, you should always understand where is the cover, where you could stay for reload. And as you see, although I'm doing some mistakes tactically, this play is rather good because now there are 2 tank destroyers which target me. So since they're distracted, the rest of my team could focus on the single enemy tank, which is very good. I still pinging for help because I need it, obviously. Eventually they would move in. I overexpose, I take 1 shell, but this allows me to punish this Jagger. I probably should be targeting his tracks. And they do a mistake. Both of them go to the same side of the rock. They should be going to the different sides, obviously, to catch me, but I was holding for long enough, and now the team is going to help me. That is a pretty risky move, but I leave and carry the game. And that's another opportunity which you should be looking for. You don't have to be perfect, but you have to find those situations where you could distract the enemy and just outplay them. Another useful tactic is what I call anchoring. The idea here is basically that you find a tank destroyer or heavy tank and you kind of work together. So the heavy tank or tank destroyer, it just sits in and soaks up the damage, well, arguably bouncing some shells. And I'm just making sure that this tank stays alive for as long as possible. I'm trying to prevent it from being crushed. And sometimes it works rather well. So unfortunately my team went to the town, but I see that I have E4 on this flank. And at this point I'm trying to think what to do. Should I bail out and run with the team, or I should try to cover E4? And I think that I probably could try to work with E4 because it's a rather strong tank. So I have to make sure that it stays alive for long enough to be useful. So I'm trying to hang around and see who is going here. I'm trying to take pot shots, but they're not very useful. I know that Leopard 1 will eventually show up on this flank, and E4 would be able to punish him. That VK was a surprise to me, because I expecting just the Leopard 1. e4 is running away, and here comes the leopard 1. He probably doesn't expect me, and that's where I'm useful. So that leopard, he was caught completely unaware. e4 has turned, and we are melting that leopard 1. The only problem is that now I'm reloading, and that IS8 is quite far from us. Leopard 1 was also able to go behind e4, which is very unfortunate, and now we have 2 enemy tanks rushing us. So I'm trying to find the new anchor, which is IS8. I'm not running away completely. I'm just hanging around, making sure that they see me and that they won't be rushing IS8. I probably shouldn't be shooting at STI. But the team, they just melt on the other side of this map. This game would be lost for sure. So I'm reloaded, and now I'm going to harass those tanks. VK, which was feeling safe, now is not very safe. I'm tracking that M103, and I'm just running around distracting the enemy that try to shoot me, which allows IS8 to disengage and live long enough to be useful. They're still trying to kill him, and now I go in and kill VK, and I'm hunting M103. So as you see, we were 2 versus 2, but both of us leave because IS8 was able to live long enough, and I was able to effectively kill these tanks. Because I am much harder target to hit, they were mostly trying to hit IS8. They were swinging the turrets left and right, not sure whom to shoot at, which allowed us to stay alive long enough. So this is the last game in this video, and I specifically picked it to highlight the fact that Châtillon greatly rewards smart players that try to look at the minimap and who try to maximize their chances to win, who really outplay their opponents tactically. So we went to the hill, and it seems like the enemy team is pushing down, which is not bad for them because they have mostly heavies. There's Sloan T-54, which tries to run away from the hill. So it's fine. The only problem is that when you push the town, you should do it much harder. You really should move in and don't stop, because the whole idea of that push is that you have really short period of temporal advantage. You outnumber tanks in the town, so the idea is that you just roll through the buildings, focus on those tanks in the town, kill them, and then turn to face enemy tanks which roll down from the hill. And that IS-7 plays it completely wrong. He stays at the back while he should be really pushing the front line. But otherwise, well, this game is not about this. Soon there will be just 3 tanks in the game. Red STI, which would be completely healthy, and there will be me and E75. STI would go to the corner of the map, and he would dig in a small pit at the corner of the map, and that would make him very difficult target to hit. So I have 3 shells in the clip, but because STI has a very strong armor profile, there is a good chance that I won't be able to connect all the shots. In fact, I would be lucky if I would be able to connect 2 shells when approaching this tank. So I will try to assist A75, but I would realize that my chances to rush STI and kill him are rather slim. The thing is that we just won't be very effective against this tank. So I'm still trying to find an angle. I'm trying to understand what STI is doing, if he's pushing, but it turns out that STI is a rather smart tank. He just stays there, and he wants us to come to him. So his position is really good. E75 is also not bad. He is side scraping, but his position is not that strong. So I'm trying to move around and see if I have any opportunity to go after that STI, but honestly I don't think that I'm able to do this. So I look at the clock and it seems like we have 3 minutes, which means that I could just go to the base and start capturing the base. And this is a very important thing, because now if we would fall back, STI would have to leave this position. He has to go and hunt us. And it seems like E75 just doesn't understand this. I'm telling him to go back, but he wants to push. And this is a stupid move, because we could lose this game pretty easily. His shooting is great, but on the tactical level, he's doing it wrong. So now STI realizes that he is at disadvantage and he has to move, and at this moment I go in, he is on the flat surface, and I'm able to kill him. That's how you should play this game. You should be really thinking and maximize your opportunities to win. So yeah, I enjoy this tank, and I have to say that I would be playing it more because I don't have Ace Tanker badge yet. It also works as a great trainer for light tank crew skills. It's balanced. You definitely feel that it's a light tank. It's pretty fragile, but given its speed and its ability to unload its clip at the side or at the back of enemy tank, it could be rather fun to play. But it also could be very frustrating. So sometimes I just play a few games, and when you see that teams suck, you just switch to something else, because if you want to enjoy this tank, you need some decent teams which would at least push the front line, because on some small maps like mines, if the entirety of the team starts by camping at the spawn, you just don't have enough field to shift around. You just don't have any opportunities. On small maps, the enemy team could really hold all main directions, so you just don't have the opportunities to get to the side or behind the enemy tank, and the game becomes just a nightmare. So this tank also benefits from the good company. That's probably all that I had to say about this tank. So the only thing that I have to warn about is that if you are new to this game and you don't know maps well, please don't play this tank. It would be really frustrating, because you would be dying way too fast, and it's pretty hard to find those opportunities to do damage. Typically unexperienced players, they just get frustrated with this tank, and they try to scout, and then they just see that they can't do anything. They rush forward and die. It's hard to play, so please focus on some other lines like heavy tanks. They are much more fun to play at the start. But if you have enough experience, this has just enough challenge to make it fun to play. It's definitely not overpowered. Yes, it has significant weaknesses, but that speed and still 3 clips in the shell also makes it fun to play. So see you on the battlefield, and I hope that there will be more videos of this tank coming soon. Good luck!